Who doesn't understand pain? Or blood? The gods told you.
Then I defy the gods.
Oh, hi. Wait a minute. Who are you?
Take a look at this picture. What do you see? Two dudes in armor restraining a woman who seems helpless. Now, who's the most odd-looking one in this picture? Is it this guy? Or him? The people in the back? Or is it her? She definitely stands out from the rest. Is this a fantasy movie? Well, maybe half yes and half no. I mean, it's not entirely fictional fantasy content like Game of Thrones or The Lord of the Rings. It's the upcoming movie based on one of the most influential epics of Western civilization, containing part history and part myth, written by the Greek poet Homer, the Odyssey. So what's a black woman doing in a movie based on a Greek myth? Is she an Ethiopian? I mean, that would explain her presence in this movie, since Ethiopians were mentioned many times by Homer himself in both the Iliad and the Odyssey. Even the Greek gods, like Poseidon, would visit Ethiopia from time to time to take part in grand Ethiopian parties and feasts. So the presence of a black woman in a movie based on the Odyssey doesn't seem unrealistic at all, right guys? But here's the twist. She's not an Ethiopian, Nubian, Sudanese, Egyptian, or any person from the African subcontinent. I'm sad to say that she's playing a Greek woman, and not just any random NPC or side character, but a daughter of Zeus himself and a queen who was considered by Homer and probably by most Greeks of the time to be the most beautiful woman on earth, whose face launched 1,000 ships straight into the city of Troy, ultimately resulting in its utter destruction. Yeah, she's playing none other than the famous Helen of Sparta, or Troy, or in this case, Congo. I mean, what on earth caused Christopher Nolan, the director of this movie, and the people responsible for the casting, to cast Lupita Nyong'o as Helen of Troy herself? Is it really that hard to find a decent looking Greek actress, or at least someone who resembles a Greek woman? And to all those saying there's a chance Helen could have been black, I say no. She is described by Homer himself with the epithets fair-armed Helen and Argive. Who are the Argives? Greeks, the Hellenes. Does any of this scream Ethiopian or African to you? Is there a chance maybe one of her parents was black? Again, no. Her father was the Greek king of the gods, Zeus, and her mother was a Spartan. Even her stepfather, the king of Sparta, was also a Spartan, and she was raised as a Spartan princess. Where the hell is Sparta? In modern day Greece. Do they mean to tell us Zeus was black? I mean, it's not like this hasn't been done before. It's not as if they cast her by mistake without doing sufficient research. If they had actually read the source material, the Iliad and the Odyssey, or even done a simple Google search, they would have known what's what. But no, they did this voluntarily for some specific reason, which I'm sure you all know. I mean, casting a black actress as the most beautiful woman in the world, there's nothing wrong with that. But casting a black woman as the Greek woman who was described as the most beautiful woman in the world, 100% wrong. I'm completely okay with celebrating and elevating a certain culture or group of people. But doing it at the expense of another culture and its people? Hell no. That should never be accepted. I see many people calling her ugly and making racist remarks about the actress just because she got cast in this role. That's pretty dumb and pretty racist. Beauty is subjective. To one person, she may look like the most beautiful woman in the world. To another, the ugliest. Casting her as the most beautiful woman isn't the problem here. It's the character she is playing. I'm not even a Nolan hater or someone ranting just because it's the latest trend to bash this movie. I'm a Nolan fan myself. I have watched almost every movie he's directed and I love them. As for Lupita, I love her acting too, especially in movies like Black Panther and 12 Years a Slave. When this movie was first announced, I was genuinely excited because one of my favorite directors was making a movie based on one of my favorite epics. I honestly thought it was going to be peak, but my hype immediately went down the drain when it was announced that Lupita was in the cast and I realized who she was playing. It would have been far less controversial if the people involved in making this film had simply defended the decision by saying something like, "Yeah, we agree, Ellen should look Greek, But for this movie, we wanted to try something different. Or, this is the director's personal artistic vision. But the difference? It's a mythological story. Or basically, it's just myth, bro. We can do whatever we want. Deal with it. That's what Lupita herself said. So by that logic, even a Chinese person could play Jesus just because some people consider him a mythological figure? Or a white dude like Ryan Gosling could play an African god? Here's a video of Lupita talking about Black Panther, which is based on a fictional Marvel character, fictional region, and fictional culture.
Wakanda is, of course, a nation, a fictitious African nation. Oftentimes the African continent, when it's portrayed in cinema, it's very general, and we were all hell-bent on it not being general. So the fact that, our fictitious African nation speaks the language Xhosa, we needed to learn that language, we needed to, get the accent in English and everything. Though it's a fictitious nation, it is brought to life and derived from real African cultures. As a result, a respect for these very wealthy and diverse cultures that often just get washed as one thing.
So authentic representation, even in a fantasy story, is required only when the culture being represented is African? Why didn't she apply the same logic here to a fantasy or myth as she believes that is clearly representing Greek culture? Isn't that hypocrisy? When Lupita was asked in an interview what she would say to Homer if she sat next to him after watching the movie in the theater, she said,
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women considering how little you spent with them? Okay.
And then do you lean forward and look at him like that?
Yes,
seriously? You are going to lecture a man who probably lived 2800 years ago about feminism and gender equality? It's like calling out Jesus, who lived about 2000 years ago, for not doing anything about slavery. And even that would make more sense considering he was believed to be the son of God and supposedly had the authority to bring about change. But Homer? Bruh, he was just a product of his time. And did I tell you Lupita is also playing another character in the movie besides Helen? Yeah. She's also playing Clytemnestra, Helen's sister and the wife of Agamemnon, who later kills him with her own hands. By casting the same actress as both Helen and Clytemnestra, the film could undermine Helen's beauty, because she might not stand out from her sister. A viewer could reasonably wonder, if Helen is regarded as the most beautiful woman in the world, why does her sister look exactly the same? Yeah, I know there's not a single Greek actor in the Odyssey's principal cast. It mostly features American and British actors, like a typical Hollywood film. And yes, there are a lot more issues with this movie than just the casting. The armor is inaccurate, the ships are inaccurate, and so on. Even the movie's tagline, "Defy the Gods," doesn't sit right with me. But in this video, I only wanted to focus primarily on the casting of Helen of Troy. What are your thoughts on this controversy? Do you think it's just meaningless outrage aimed at spreading hate toward this movie and Nolan? Or are you on the same boat as me and the many others who have openly called out on this issue? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.